underdogs. Ayy, the underdog, you gotta respect it. Taking the competition, yeah, challenge accepted. So motivated, and I'm all about my biz. You can say that you hustle if you don't know what hustle is. Used to be a lone wolf, that's facts. But then I stepped it up when I joined the wolf pack. Keep everything fair, nah, we don't ever cheat. You gotta stand for something, cause the world is a beast, yeah. Where my underdogs at? Everybody's welcome to join the wolf pack. Come on, where my underdogs at? Everybody's welcome to join the wolf pack.
Okay, a little bit of deja vu, but I'm back in 2018 to RVS Arena and the energy show that is happening there. I'm here to check out exactly what kind of electric car have they brought here for a display. Previously, in a previous video, I was kind of talking that maybe this year the electric cars will take over the entire exhibiting space. Nah, didn't happen. But there are a few vehicles I haven't seen before, and there's a few contenders in the different price groups. But about this a little bit later. Where the previous Mini might sometimes be considered as a female or lady car, in my opinion, totally wrong. I actually thought it was a really manly car, and the fact that it was attached to the opposite sex was more to do with marketing just to one sex. But as their efforts to make it a bit more manly are quite present, I can only applaud. The very first time I saw a Mini design, then I was between 10 and 14, and I saw it in a car magazine. Eventually they made it happen.
What are you showing me here, Morty? This guy sucks ass. Come on, stop it, Rick. At least he paid someone on Fiverr to keep us alive. I don't need to be kept alive, Morty. I'm the smartest man in the universe. This is just some small-time YouTuber trying to keep a dead marriage alive. Break the cycle, Morty. Kill the puppy. Shut up, Rick. It's not always about who's better or worse. People do it for different reasons. I swear to God, if you ever start blogging, I'll kill you, Morty. You understand? I'll kill you.
Nifty and really nice. This is interesting now. So you have a different, like, this is kind of plastic, but is it my hand thinks that I can actually push it in a little bit? And here it goes again, a little bit softer. So where your hand touches, you have a kind of leather, I think, and then you know that's like, at least you want some to be able to have this kind of sensation of, you know, and it will of course here will be more comfortable where your body touches, like a old school radio from 50s. So a lot of shiny parts, a lot of shiny things. This depends of how good the plastic is, then how long it would stay shining, and you know, would leave fingertips and stuff. Kind of bends everything. Yeah, lots of buttons. Look at this. Yeah, so they were calling the previous Mini feminine. So this time they really worked hard. This is like a fighter jet or something. They really worked hard to make sure that this does not look girly at all. And again, we have leather interior. I love these seats. Does that expand later? It's really nice. This is like supercar designs. Okay, that's probably somehow you control your music. Oh, this is cool. Okay, this is a wireless charger for your phone, and also it actually can hold any phone. That's awesome. Every car should have it actually, because you know, you should have your navigation in here, but you shouldn't think where to charge your phone, and the wireless charging is really good. And also the benefit of wireless charging is that you don't use your phone when you drive it or even at home. Like, I had a bit of a habit. I started using my phone with the cable a bit too much. Actually, that's how I broke it. So before it actually got fixed, my girlfriend got me a wireless charger, and I broke the habit of spending every single waking minute on my phone because I had that time to put it down. I think you should almost make it a law to have it, because this way you can actually force people to stop using their phones when they're driving. Behind me is not a full electric car, it's a plug-in hybrid, but I would like to say something to thank Kia. You're the first company who allowed me to film during the test drive. Also, even the currently cars offered by Kia does not include any full electric cars. We need not to forget that Kia Soul was one of the first challengers in terms of the range vehicle. It had exactly the same cells as Tesla did, and we should bring in the new model, the full electric model of this particular car. Can't wait to see that. Okay, so we're inside the Kia, electric Kia. Now let's check out the interior. Yeah, nice. It's all about the doors, how we close. You can tell about the quality, how well they close and what sound they make. I took apart my Mercedes doors previously, and you can see that there are acoustic materials used to make the sound like a closing a vault. And this is what it is. Is it because it's a kind of premium car? This material, you can press it in. Like today I drove here with the Citroën C3. Even though it's pretty flashy, they use interesting materials inside, it is still cheap plastic. So this is not cheap plastic, it still can kind of push it in. But yeah, it's good. More cars, more second-hand cars, everybody will drive it. So the seats, I don't know, is it real leather? But they feel extremely nice and then very comfortable. So basically, I like that the car looks like a car. It has some sort of design features, let's say like, you know, blue accents and, you know, maybe a bit of kind of old school varnished finish to show that it's a different kind of vehicle. Maybe color schemes like this. Blue stitching, for example, against black looks very nice and kind of modern. It really reminds me of electricity. But it's nice when a car looks like a car. So this year, Tesla is not here. Last year, even it wasn't a Tesla who brought it in. It was a lease company. So obviously Tesla don't really care about coming here. Anyway, let's check out. Yes. A push handbrake. Absolutely missed out from my Mercedes previously. I really liked it. The brake, pedal, and the gas. I already drove previously, also drove the Zoe, and it's most of the time the content I'm trying to do is about that very first experience. I couldn't test drive them with the camera, unfortunately. The Nissan brought their new Leaf. It is definitely an improvement everywhere, to be honest. The interior is better, it looks outside a bit different, it doesn't look so quirky, and that's absolutely perfect from my point of view. But as always, I always try to show how the car feels inside, and let's check out that. One of my favorite parts. Good. Right now I'm inside of the Nissan Leaf. You can clearly see that the blue stitching is a thing right now. Now the gear knob, yeah, that's very Japanese-like. Good glow box, smaller screen than you would maybe think, but the bigger screen here, and that will be more comfortable when you're driving, so you don't have to look to the side, because sometimes you know, the driving can get sketchy. There are lots of buttons, and again, the seats are, oh yeah. And do you know, actually this is the funny part, they could actually make seats as good in all the cars and just change the entire look. Oh, that's something new. I haven't seen it. Is it like maybe like something like carbon buttons? Okay, that's probably a start. I'm not gonna do that. So the seating is comfortable. Space in the back is good too. Yeah, lots of chrome. Here are microphones, I think, so it's hands-free. So now, plastic, kind of softish and softer. So we have hard plastic, like something, a bit of padding, and then after it's nice feel. Fun story. In the movie The Revenge of the Electric Car, one of the leaders of the GM, I think, he was basically giving a hard time for designers for making their display. But right now basically everybody's doing the same thing and there is no issue. It actually kind of gives a third dimension to the panel, and if you really put it inside, you either have to sacrifice the size of the screen, and it perfectly fits here. But you have a glove box, yeah, big glove box. Thanks God they released a new Leaf, because the old one didn't really look that nice. Well, it looked nice for what it was. Back in the day, it was one of the first cars, so you couldn't go too drastic about it. But this one is definitely an improvement. It is a bit out there, but I think that's what you would expect from Japanese or Korean car. There's nothing wrong about it, you know. It's a different taste, and everybody has things they like. And where previously I would maybe lean towards the traditional design a bit more, right now I'm perfectly comfortable in something as crazy as that. Although probably I lean something towards a little bit more traditional. The last year Volkswagen didn't participate. This year we only brought the Golf. Ireland is too small for their concept cars, and the show is too small. That's probably the one thing I didn't really like, because this year is pretty much the exactly same thing as it was previously. Hopefully there will be improvement next year. Let's check how the car looks inside. The See the gap between the driver's door and the panel? It's so small you can't really open it. Clearly done on purpose. Now, a bit of a dick move, I think. Especially, look how nice everything looks. It's really nice. The screen is bigger than majority of the cars in the same price category. Okay, we see again the same blue stitching as we saw in the Kia. This particular car doesn't have a leather interior or leatherette, I don't know what exactly it was. But basically stitching, it's kind of premium feeling, maybe something like early 2000s, mid 2000 Mitsubishi Pajeros used to have. Kind of a few compartments there and there. This is something like Mercedes-Benz in the 90s when they had the versions before the carbon fiber. In the E-Class there used to be a kind of wood, and it used to be this kind of like again, I would call it piano finish, really smooth, and it's reflective. Everything else pretty much is what you would see in probably that would be GTI. There's a video where I reviewed SEAI Ibiza, and they had this similar material up to here, and then after it's cheap plastic. And this car has it all over in, so it's exactly what it is. They want to differentiate between their cars, which car is more expensive, which one is less. Actually, you know what? It reminds me a little bit of Audi Q7 interior, kind of driver-facing instrument cluster. Yeah, they keep the buttons in the same space, so maybe that's they like to stick with what already you're doing for longer. Currently, I'm sitting at the very end of the room. From the previous year, Renault Zoe is here, and also BMW i3 is here, and BMW i8 is here. This year, there's few more cars. But in general, I think they should maybe expand it a bit more. There isn't enough exhibitors to show more electric cars. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get the test drive with Volkswagen right now, because I just want to feel it's really important. It's a very intimate feeling when a driver sits inside either a new car or in his own car as the pilot, as the driver. It's something that, you know, you fantasize when you were a kid, and eventually once you got your license and you start driving, that was the best feeling possible. And it's nice to have a little bit of emotion when you're sitting into something you're seeing for the first time. It's the very last car which I'm going to be introducing. You know what? Eventually I will get better at doing these things, but right now it is as good as the way it is. Last year, this Renault wasn't here. It was a Nissan instead. I almost guarantee it's exactly the same underneath. Again, as I said before with the Nissan, you need different cars in order to make electric cars a possible viable solution. This car fits in perfectly. I even sold them second-hand for like 8 grand as after being used for 2 or 3 years. And actually Renault released electric vans in this category way before the Nissan did. I remember old magazine about cars which I used to order every single month, writing about one such vehicle. I can't tell exactly was it actual production vehicle or was it a concept, but Renault did way before the Nissan did, and you can't take away when somebody is first. So let's check out how this car looks inside. So now I'm inside Renault small van, small electric van. I guess most of their cars are built on the same basis underneath. Comfortable enough. Cluster here, a very traditional radio. Probably that would keep the cost down, because it's a work vehicle. It's not meant to be too fancy. Seat is movable, back to front. There's something in the back. Obviously, there is more space in this. Just the seat is actually moved forward. Okay, the handbrake. It's a kind of start to be used commonly. Maybe I think initially it came from American muscle cars. And that's one I really like, the handbrake like that. Okay, so now this year, the Renault bring a lot more vehicles. And if you actually count their partnership with them in Nissan, we have most of the space here, to be honest. The Renault van is probably one of the more affordable ones. I don't know exactly how much the price differs between the Renault van and Nissan van, but I think the Renault van is more affordable. And I am surprised why I don't see so many of them on the roads right now, because honestly, you can actually buy electricity at a different rate depending which way you buy it. You can actually buy it as a future. So you can buy it at a certain rate, or you can buy it in bulk. You cannot do that with petrol. And the taxation is very tricky when it comes to the petrol or diesel. Right now, it made it so unappealing for someone to kind of maintain those cars, because I don't know, they rented a car and wanted a diesel car to go to Dublin, and I was told that the rental company is actually getting rid of diesel vehicles because of the emissions. So maybe there are certain things which companies who buy a lot of cars are forced to do, which we don't know about. Okay, so the new Nissan Leaf, you know, it's definitely an improvement. I really liked the Mini Cooper crossover, electric crossover. It's awesome, and you know, I filmed it last year. You can check the video, the description. It should be, there will be a link to find that. So I tried to kind of get that first experience, kind of feeling at least as close as possible. But in general, as I said, I'm happy that these things improve slowly, and I'm happy that these shows exist, and I'm happy that this year there's maybe a little bit more cars. Maybe some took too much space, but that's fine. Kangoo van is also a very good vehicle for our market, and I hope more companies will take it on.